right, Coach Tyson.
Oh! Hey, let's go right here. We're about to go to defensive individual. Linebackers down here with me, secondary over here. D-line with Coach Garland, okay? Let's lock in. Remember, focus on getting 1% better today.
The 2022 Alcoa Tornadoes are excited about defending their title this year, but there will be some new faces joining the MAC Conference this year.
We have just added 3 more teams this year: Powell, Fulton, and Central. We also had most all teams in Knoxville. So the MAC League took over the youth league for Knoxville, and now every affiliate high school has a team.
In his second year, Coach Felder knows that potential is just that and does not always guarantee success.
A blessing for us last year is we started off with a rough first game or first scrimmage, and we realized that the year before it didn't really matter as much as the next year. I think that's kind of settled in for some of our kids that are 8th graders now, because they saw, hey, we were really good 6th grade, and then boom, 7th grade started, and things didn't go where we thought it was going to. In the 8th grade, now they have a chance of understanding, hey, that's already happened, so we come in with a better mentality. Right now, we physically look really good, and they have that understanding of potential doesn't really mean anything unless we produce it on the field. And the year before, it doesn't matter for that production.
It's as simple as that. But what can Alcoa fans expect to see this year, Coach?
They're going to see us be big, and they're going to see us be physical. We got a lot of dudes that have experience playing football before, which is really good. Sometimes at the middle school level, you don't get kids that have done this for a while. So we've got a handful of dudes that have done this for years with each other, and they're very comfortable with each other. So our understanding of how we work together is going to be pretty good.
Everybody knows Alcoa City and blue collar go hand in hand. Well, Coach knows that football can be used as an instrument for the game of life as well.
The biggest thing is understanding that each of them has responsibility and understanding how their responsibilities relate back to life. So just last week we had a conversation with them about how sometimes things are hard, things are difficult, and life throws things at you that way too. You just got to put your head down and kind of grind and work some things out. And another key component to this too is just with football there comes confrontation. It's hot, we're hitting each other, we're angry, and it's getting them to understand there are confrontations in life, but you got to address it. Just meet head forward, talk about it, have a good conversation, and move on.
Now, when it comes to defense, who better to be at the helm than one of our own, former Alcoa and Tennessee Tech linebacker Jake Warwick. Coach Warwick is a Brian Nix disciple when it comes to defense, and the former Alcoa star gives credit where credit is due.
I mean, really, with him, it'd probably be easier to ask how he has it defense. I mean, he's one of those guys that from the time that I started playing at Alcoa till this very day, anytime I've ever needed advice on anything, whether it's football related or life related, it doesn't matter. He's been a very influential person in my life and has helped shape me in more ways than one.
The proverbial apple has not fallen far from the Minister of Defense coaching tree for sure. So what can Alcoa fans expect to see this year, Coach?
My biggest thing that I hope to see is that they get to see a physical defense that plays with a ton of energy and flies around. To me, that's the most important thing. If you can do those two things, you can win some ball games on defense.
Warwick is a defensive guru that gives his players small schematic doses slowly so they can have liberties to punish opponents with aggression. And there are some who have caught his eye early in the preseason practices.
For the sake of the kids, we modified a little bit. At every level of football, from you start, at the grasshoppers, whatever, every level it gets a little bit more complex. And so we try to do a lot of what the high school does, but we do it on a simplified version. So in that regard, yeah, we've simplified it a little bit, but it all shakes out to be the same. Some of the big ones that have surprised me are our newcomers. Marley Watts has been a big one. Jaden Dehart's been a big one that stepped up, kind of came out of the woodwork that we weren't really expecting to see. Amari DeBose, he's a new guy that stepped up big time, and then all of our returning guys, I knew that they could play. Darius Sutter, Corey Manuel. I I knew Tyson Dorsey was going to come out and play. So, but there's been a few that weren't with us last year that have come out this year and stepped it up big time.
Well. With the defense set, it will be up to second-year offensive coordinator Jaharon Tyson to work his coaching magic on offense with some exciting key players to give Alcoa fans plenty to cheer about this year.
Fans can expect for this offense to be exciting. I think we'll be able to spread the ball out. We have a lot of playmakers right now this year, a lot of guys that have made a lot of improvements from last year. Of course, we're replacing much of our O-line, so that'll be a learning process for us, a little learning curve. But like I said, in the skill positions, the cupboard's running over. We got a lot of talent. The guys like Micah Jones, who will be the quarterback. Damari DeBose is our tailback. He's shown some spurts of being really special and making plays. And our receiving core is super deep. So it'll be fun to watch if nothing else.
Tyson is no stranger to the Alcoa community by any means. He grew up here and was immersed in the Alcoa culture as an all-state fullback for the Tornadoes before heading to UT Chattanooga. And if you ask him about it, I'm sure he'd be glad to tell you.
It's something that's special. It's something you don't find everywhere across the nation. A community that is disinvested in their program. There's guys that have graduated 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and they're still here at our games, even the middle school games. You know, a lot of times you don't see that same support for the middle school program at a lot of programs, but here guys are wanting to talk about, hey, how we look this year, blah, blah, blah. And again, it's because we feed into our high school, and so the way we look, eventually the high school look that way. So it's really special to have that community support, and we hope that we have a lot of it this year.
Quarterback is key in any offense, and Alcoa isn't any different. Kip Jones is in his 11th season as quarterback coach, and he's groomed many who have come through the Alcoa football factory. Maybe that's why the old Division II record holder is excited about the potential he sees in 8th grader Micah Jones.
MJ's definitely has a lot of intangibles as far as quarterback position goes. He's very athletic. He's a dynamic player, as we saw in spots last year during the 21 season. His biggest strength might be his mobility or his threat to run and his escapability when the pocket breaks down. He does a lot of great things with his instincts, and that's a rarity with quarterbacks. So we're looking forward to seeing him lead the offense this year for sure. Luka Daugherty and Nikis Minor are two of the younger quarterbacks that will see action in the JV. Luka more of a pocket passer, as Nikis probably the dual threat type quarterback. But we're happy to see their improvement every day and look forward to the future with those two guys as well.
The question mark this year could be the offensive line. Like anyone can see the skill players each and every year Alcoa produces. But it's the big boys up front that pay dividends in the trenches. However, Coach Zach Garland is excited about his prospects he has in place.
So far on the offensive line, we've come a really long way here in about 2 or 3 weeks. We've got the kid Marley Watts, who's never played football before, has come out here, is really working hard. Same with Lane Ferguson, Cade Robinson, those guys we've relied on in the past with our JV team, and they've really gotten better over a year and stepped up, and they're some of the guys I think that we can rely on to really help us.
Zach Garland, his coaching duties know no bounds. He doubles as the head coach for the JV squad. He's looking to improve on last year's season.
Yeah, well, the JV, we're coming along too. We just got to continue to work hard every day, and just keep pushing. We've got a really young group of kids, a bunch of 6th graders who, some of them maybe haven't played a whole lot of football before, and so we're just trying to get them acclimated to, being able to play. And so far, they've come a pretty long way, and I'm ready for the season to get started.
The Alcoa receiving corps' depth this year is plentiful, and sharing the ball will be a priority. So who better to coach this unit than Big Michael Love? The former Alcoa standout brings a wealth of football knowledge and experience to the table and is excited about this season. Did I mention his brother is none other than the Alcoa great Randall Cobb?
I think for us to be successful on both sides of the ball, our receivers are going to have to make sure that they hustle on every single play, firing off the ball every single play, run or pass, making sure that they run their correct routes at the correct depths. And I think we have a very talented group this year. Have a lot of different skill sets, and I think if we can put it all together, I feel like we can be really, really successful.
Coach Mike, what can we expect from the AMS secondary this year, my friend?
We have a secondary I feel like is very, very hungry for the ball, so I feel like that's going to benefit us. Everybody stepping up to the challenge, getting after it. I think our biggest problem is going to be getting everybody on the field at the same time. Everybody's aggressive. I feel like everybody's on the same page as far as our team goes to get after it this year. So it's going to be a really exciting year.
We all excited to kick off the season too, Coach. So when you come watch these young men ball out on the field this year, what does the head ball coach and former Maryville College star want their identity to be?
I want it to be workers. We try to instill in these kids that just because you look good on paper, it doesn't mean that all those things are going to work out the way that they're supposed to. Sometimes even in life where you hope things work out one way, but in reality kind of come out another way. These kids really just got to understand that. We got to put our heads down, got that lunch bell mentality, and grind it out.
Well, there you go, Alcoa fans, and those who are not. Fact is, these Alcoa Tornadoes are ready to use that lunch pail mentality to work their way through the 2022 football season and never rest until their good gets better and their better becomes the best.